Thursday, May 15th through Saturday, May 17th. See the greatest dirt late model stars in the country compete for $10,000 to win on both Thursday and Friday, and an enormous $50,000 to win 75-lap main event on Saturday. The High Bank Heist, May 15th through May 17th at Eagle Raceway. For more info, visit eagleraceway.com. Let's go Lucas Oil Late Model Racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Lincoln's new craft cocktail lounge is Bar 48 in Lincoln. Located at 2639 North 48th Street, Bar 48 offers everything from cocktails to beer to wine and so much more. With summer right around the corner, you can always enjoy Bar 48's frozen beverages. Follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on their live music performances every Saturday night. Make plans to visit Bar 48 on North 48th Street in the heart of the University Place neighborhood today.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call today at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best they can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. Tailored Landscapes is on the brink of spring cleanups for all their existing customers, and they have limited spots available. They trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give Tailored Landscapes a call at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of their designers and stop by the Tailored Life store in Bennett.
Hey, what are you talking about over there?
Huh?
I said, what are you talking about?
You know, Bill, I think it's time for both of us to get our hearing checked. We should head over to Christensen Hearing Analytics.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about them. They offer a free hearing consultation and screening, affordable hearing aid prices, and a knowledgeable staff with over 30 years of experience.
Visit Christensen Hearing Analytics today in Williamsburg Village or give them a call at 402-489-3450. Christensen Hearing Analytics. A better life starts with better hearing.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You heard it here, folks. Old School, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, live on this rainy Friday, 1040 O Street. We are brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese Special Greens and Butcher Shop, located at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Old Cheney / Andromat, and 168th and Maple up there in the O. Hopefully this rain stops and the heat starts to kick up here, and then we can start firing up some grills on a regular basis and start talking about that. We haven't got any texts. Listen, if you guys are listening, I know you guys are starting your Fridays and stuff, probably picking up some food and stuff. Look, man, Traegers are tricky. If I don't get any help with my Traeger, it's going on Facebook Marketplace by Monday. Monday. It's
not
always
Tuesday,
clean
not Wednesday.
and all that. I'm sure there's a little people out there a little bit more techie. The auger's not augering. Or whatever you call it.
The grill ain't grilling.
Yeah, the grill ain't grilling, man. Vacuumed it out before the rain came this morning. Took all the pellets out, put them back in. I tried to hit it. You know how when you had, with the candy machines back in high school, didn't work either. So
You kick it or just
no, I
take a hammer to it?
Yeah, I gave it the hammer. I'm gonna try it again tomorrow morning and see if we can reset. Yeah, now we gotta go double hammer. A little donkey punch on the thing, man. But a lot going on, like we said before the show. Is rookie minicamp. We got about 15 minutes before we turn it over to the Royals. But the one thing, that's what I'm talking about. Clean the temp prob with vinegar. Okay. He had to buy a new auger. See there? That's what I'm saying. Listen, I must list it. Look, works for great. Besides the auger, fix at your own cost. Let's deal, right? But rookie minicamps are abound in the rookie minicamp is different, and I know the rules have changed, but I think this is the time. It's kind of like when you get early enrollees, in college, and the first time they have team workouts or whatever. It's kind of like, the scouts that really, had a big influence on, picking somebody that they get to kind of, strut around, or they'd like to, as long as you play well, strut around with their chest out. They, especially if they had a good haul with the street free agents or priority free agents, you get to see those guys. And then also you get to hope and see, hopefully in real life, that the first and second round picks, the guys that are going to be paid a lot of money, are all that were advertised. And so, we got a few Nebraska players that are going to be either are already or about to embark on their first rookie minicamp. And obviously Ty Robinson had a little presser today. I can tell you from my experience, I will never forget this, man. First of all, I hope Money Mike is still alive. I got to get back to Buffalo. He was there last time I went. But he picked us up, Austin. And he was the funniest dude ever. And then he ran the okie doke on your boy. and I was the first one in, the first one out of that doctor's office. But, here's the thing. So we left Lincoln on a day like this.
Okay.
And I was fortunate enough. I got drafted to Buffalo, and so did Sheldon Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
So we were able to, get dropped off at the airport at the same time. We flew out of Lincoln or whatever. So we got it made it a little easier that you have a teammate that you came in with as a freshman, and you get to go to your first pro camp as rookies.
Yeah.
And we knew we were physically ready, and we've been the best team in the nation. So we knew our practice habits were good, and we worked out together, and, so we were ready enough, and we always felt like we'd always kind of look out for each other. So, but I would never forget. So we left on a day like this. So back then they would get you there quick. Drafted Saturday, they get you on a flight like Tuesday. So I had to fly back from DC to here, pack up, deuces. So they want you to get to there the day before. So in our case would be Wednesday, and then we did it or whatever. But so we left on a kind of a gloomy day like this, and the draft was earlier, so it was a little bit colder. So I'll never forget, we laid over in Chicago. Still ain't had no money, so we still technically, we were NFL players, but we were broke,
Bootleg NFL players right now.
NFL. I think we still were getting scholarship checks, and we did a couple of little basketball games, so we had some spending money or whatever. Hadn't signed our contracts yet, and they had kind of like this thing that they had parameters in case you got messed up. So we flying into Buffalo. And our flight leaving here was at like 5:30 or 6 in the morning. Your boy was tired, right?
Dog tired?
Oh, dead tired. So when we left Chicago to go to Buffalo, I was asleep. And then when you descending into Buffalo, and it was a bad day. Yo, that turbulence woke your boy up, right? So when you got turbulence and stuff. I was sitting on the window, so it was funny. I always wanted the window back then. Now I only will sit in the aisle.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a big Windows guy. Will that change sometime, do you think?
Yeah. I think I got a little bit more control that I can get places, but I ain't going nowhere. You're in the flying bus anyways. But I put the thing out, the shade up, looked out, man, and it reminded me of Rocky IV when he went to Russia. Straight up. Hey, snow. It was gray. Like, like when you look out, and I don't know if you ever flew in bad weather, but it's like the snow was pelting the window.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what the hell did I get into?
Well, I didn't want to go here.
Right. And so that was like above the clouds. Right. And so then you go through the clouds when it's dark, and then you get underneath it. It looks like a day like today.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have this big hangar to the left, or at least they used to. And it was supposed to say, welcome to Buffalo. Right. It was like, welk to, and then it was like Uffalo, because it got worn out so much. And we just, boom. You ever see like those landings? I mean, we
hit
did
it.
Yeah. Boom. I looked at Sheldon and I was like, man, we in some trouble, you know? And then
we're never flying out of here. We're stuck.
Yeah, we're
not
stuck
doing this.
That's what they do. Get you up here in Western New York, you ain't never leaving. And then, we went and did the thing, and it was pretty cool. We had a pretty cool draft class. We had Antoine Winfield, who was a good friend of mine, Peerless Price, and Sean Bryson, who's one of my best friends, Keith Newman, and we had my man Bobby Boucher Collins, 4th round pick. Buffalo should have never picked him in the 4th. He should have picked me. But and then one of my best friends of all time that actually unfortunately passed away was on a vacation accident, Keon Carpenter. He's from Baltimore. I'm from family from Frederick, DC area. Knew each other just through sports growing up through like grade school, middle school. He was at Virginia Tech, and we actually kind of made a play together. We both made the team on special teams, in Cincinnati. I caused the fumble. He recovered the fumble. Next thing you know, they kept us. We both were inactive, but we were getting those checks. But, the thing is that it's the first time that, you're away from home again since high school. But this time, you're supposed to be a grown-up. Now, the lesson that you learned in college through Coach Osborne and Coach Sam that was here yesterday, big shout out to him. You like to think that, they had an influence, and they did, but you're still out there. So then you go through the same emotions again. Am I good enough? Were we really that good? Who are we going against? It's different when you go, like me and Sheldon came in together, and I'm playing with guys that I knew, and we're going to fight. Now you're fighting on your own. You're almost like, I know you have never watched Game of Thrones, but there's a scene where Jon Snow is like, this whole cavalry was coming for him or this whole like army was coming at him. Now the cavalry was coming. He didn't know it yet, but he drew his sword like, I'm going out. I'm taking a few with me. So that's the way you are before that first mini camp. You have that you're good. You got drafted and stuff like that, but you're there with a bunch of rookies. And it's like coming in when we had freshman, orientation a couple of days. But this time you're playing for all the marbles,
How much of NFL rookie minicamp is about the football, and how much of NFL rookie minicamp is about prove you can be a professional?
Well, I think the prove that you can be a professional leads to better football. The worst thing, the thing
but
is.
What are like executives and coaches looking for? Are they looking for?
Okay, well, number one, if the meeting starts at 9:00 in the morning, I highly suggest you be there at 8:50. Number one, you want to be if you're on time, you're late. Okay, that's what people should know that, and especially in high school. If you're on time, you're late. Number two, if you get there early, you can get some tidbits on what's going on in practice, or just get some knowledge just of conversations. Right, really can understand the coaches and what they're looking for in the scheme. That's the most important. They're going to look at your work habits. Are you late to practice, or are you on time? Or if you're on time, you're late. Are you early to practice? Are you staying late after practice? How are you interacting with your teammates? They're looking for all the things besides what's going on in the field. And then the field is a byproduct of that. Mm-hmm. How much can you retain? How assertive are you? Of course, they look for effort. It's not real physical because you're just out there in helmets, and heck, you just trying to make sure your chin strap feels right by the time the mini camp over. That's really, you want to make sure your helmet and your gear's good. Gear's good. So
those are just like regular, like in season practice where you'll go from meetings to practice, apply what we learned today.
Yeah, you'll go and some teams will introduce you to their weight program. So Rusty Jones, who's still in the NFL, you go through in his program, getting used to when you get there early, you get your workout in or whatever they have scheduled. You have team meeting, right, which is very, obviously quick because there's only a very few amount of players. Special teams meeting, defensive meeting or offensive meeting. Then you go to breakout, and then you go to practice, and then you'll have depending on the day. So when I went to Buffalo, it was actually Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I think we got Sunday off. Then we went into off season train, like our off season weight program. You go 2 days. Our rookie mini camp is 2 practices for us, 1 practice and 1 practice. And the last one was kind of like throw everything at you and then get you in and say, all right, be ready because we got a true mini camp in 2 weeks. And it's pretty intense. I mean, because you're meeting, it's a lot more meetings than in college, and they go as long as needed. I mean, straight up. One of the meetings I remember my first, rookie mini camp, we had some players struggling with, defenses, and if things aren't, uploaded on time, they push back practice. Because you're professional. There's no NCAA regulations, and then you got practice or treatment or whatever meetings afterwards. Then then it's essentially about dinner time. You're on your own. And we were staying at the 4 Point Sheraton. Never forget that. There's 2 This is the best thing about Buffalo. This is what you have to learn as a rookie. Number one, Buffalo's best restaurants were like the mom and pop Italian places and soul food places. But there was a couple high-end in restaurants.
Soul food?
Oh, yeah.
Buffalo?
Oh,
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it's big, heavy on wings, but they got some real good. At least I found them. Where we used to get it every Thursday and Friday. You had places to go. There was a couple high-end restaurants. It wasn't in my budget. So we had this deal. So this is back where they could kind of give you incentives or like give you gift cards and stuff and sponsors, whatever. We had an Olive Garden and a Fridays. And then they had Applebee's at the mall. That was our little rotation. And we'd have what was those T-Mobile flip phones? Mm-hmm. And so we would be texting each other where we were going. That's about it, man. We'd walk everywhere. We were hoofing it, man. We weren't coming up there as rookies or freshmen here with cars and a lot of money in our pocket. We had to get in where we fit in. Staying in the hotel. The great thing about it, they clean up after you, but the bad thing about it, you got a roommate.
Was it you and Sheldon?
No, it was me and Keith Newman. He was a 4th round linebacker out of North Carolina. By the way, at Tampa. He's a head coach at I know it's a Jesuit high school in Tampa. He's doing real good.
Wow, nice.
Keith was good, man. He's great. People think I'm more reserved and quote unquote angry. He was definitely angry. He was mad about it. Yo, my man Keith. It's funny. Sam Gash went up to him as a rookie. He's like, man, you a rookie? He's like, yeah. He's like, man, you look like you're 45 years old. Keith was big, man. He was a big brother, man. He was about 6'3", 6'4", 245, 250.
And not Slewfoot, was he?
No, and straight power. From North, he played at North Carolina. Outside linebacker, long arms. He was a great player. But the one thing I like about Keith, man, this is the one thing about having really good teammates. He knew the playbook inside and out. So that forced me as his roommate, that's how we accelerated our careers. And because I knew us being rookies, we're going to be in there together. So I was fortunate enough to have a good rookie roommate, and that was a good rookie class because we had myself, Keith, we had my man Bryce Fisher that was in the Air Force, but he didn't get to play for the first 2 years because he had to go back to the Air Force and during the season. And then we had Keon Carpenter and Antoine. So it was kind of like having Antoine was like our equivalent of 5-star recruit. We were all kind of mixed in there, and we got to see him. He inspired us. We were pulling for him. Obviously, Pierce and offensive guys, but defensively, we're in it together. Mm-hmm. And that's a good thing to have. That's where, like, you think about Ty and you think about Thomas and other guys going, you think about Bullock going down to Tampa and obviously Tommy Hill's getting a chance up there and everybody else. It's your time to really go in there and prove yourself, but then also, learn how to be a pro. And that's the hardest thing for rookies to understand, what it's like to be a pro. They think putting on a uniform, you're a pro. It's just being a pro is like everything besides football. And
handle business so you can play football.
Yeah, look, if you have 15 missing assignments in college, I could almost guarantee you ain't gonna play good on Saturday. You ain't gonna play good on Saturday. There's no way.
Right.
unless you just don't care. I mean, now they don't really go to school, but like when I played and you I had like, say if I had some real bad grade, guarantee I'm gonna mess up. So, anyways, we're up against the clock. We're gonna take a quick break. Come back. Jay Foreman also. We're gonna talk about the portal, man. We got a new kicker, but there's two names in there. One's legendary on Twitter, social media. Legend. So, Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Get ready for the largest dirt late model event in Nebraska, race fans. The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is heading to Eagle Raceway's High Bank Heist on Thursday, May 15th through Saturday, May 17th. See the greatest dirt late model stars in the country compete for $10,000 to win on both Thursday and Friday, and an enormous $50,000 to win 75-lap main event on Saturday. The High Bank Heist, May 15th through May 17th at Eagle Raceway. For more info, visit eagleraceway.com. Let's go Lucas Oil Late Model Racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street.
Yeah, boy! You're getting hungry. Very, very hungry. Now look into my clock. And when your boy Flavor Flav counts from 3, you're going to go to Cane's and you're going to order hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, and secret Cane's sauce. 3, 2, 1.
Order for Flavor Flav.
I guess it worked. Raising Cane's. One love.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Copple Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at copplecars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G187747, and G196599.
Fight fans, May 3rd, Dynasty Combat Sports hosts the first bare-knuckle boxing bout ever at Pinnacle Bank Arena, pitting Lincoln's Tower Robinson against McCook's Thomas Thatcher. Additionally, MMA bouts will see champion Nate Morrow battle Nebraska City's Brett Minner. University of Nebraska wrestler Tyler Berger makes his pro MMA debut, and Hunter Green takes on Husham Zadow for the amateur featherweight title. Also, professionals Brady Minner, Sean Lindgren, Justin Weaver, and the debut of another Nebraska wrestler, Bubba Wilson. 16 fights are scheduled Saturday, May 3rd at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Fight cards subject to change. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com or at the Pinnacle Bank Arena box office.
Support Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach on Give to Lincoln Day. Your gift will be received by a portion of Lincoln Community Foundation's matching fund. Homelessness is a complex problem facing our community. By working together, we can find solutions. Your donation for Give to Lincoln Day moves us closer to ensuring that everyone in Lincoln has a safe place to sleep at night. Because of your generosity, hope lives here. Give anytime through May 29th at givetolincoln.com.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call today at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? Big shout out to unknown texter 0462, Drew and Wahoo, Dylan Bennett, and OG Breaker. A little bit of advice. I'm going to try to get after it this weekend. But it just sounds like now I got to spend some money.
Not what you were looking to do.
Nope. I was hoping. Yeah, I mean, the smoker's easy. It's almost the smoker isn't as easy as a Blackstone because it's the flat. You can't really. You got to try hard to burn that. But smoker's good because you could put something on and you can get other stuff done. And it's came through like a champ. So I got saw a new recipe last night. I got to get busy. So I got to find out where to get now. You four horsemen. Where can I go buy a new auger or a new lighter? They're probably in it, right? The lighter's in the auger. And who's going to put that thing in?
I mean, you are. You're the grill master.
Yeah, I got to do what I got to do. Oh, this Sunday project.
Looks like a Traeger auger replacement runs you $30 on Amazon.
Oh, so I ain't even I can't get
the metal auger drive runs you $65.
Yeah, I wonder. That's a good business though. Traeger fixer, Traeger mechanic,
side hustle.
Yeah, where you
Why
guys
not?
at? Traeger hustlers. But as we mentioned before, Nebraska has a new kicker from Cal. We got a new nickname from him. I gotta say, I'll say his real name, right? Kyle Cunanan. But I'm gonna call him Kyle Conan Cunanan. Conan the Barbarian.
Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah, he's 5'10", 195, coming from Cal. So, look, man. I mean, this day and time bringing in competition. I know Hull is hurt a little bit. Tristan Alvan's coming back, and so this is somebody that I'm sure the coaching staff has had their eyes on, and they've been had their eyes on Nebraska. So,
and he's just a straight kicker, not a guy that's going to potentially factor into the punting competition.
I do not know.
Guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, maybe. Sometimes they can do both, and that's where you really.
So I'm saying if you're down a punter already in the portal, might be nice to add someone with some.
Yeah,
some
or with the ability to.
Yeah.
Until you get whoever you can get going, that's a huge deal. The other big name, which kind of has a little bit of national championship feel, prior to him going to Texas, he was on Nebraska. Was supposedly came down to Nebraska and Texas. Is Jonte Cook from years ago?
That's right.
Was at Texas. Judging by his Twitter, he didn't like anything about Texas. He didn't like Arch Manning. The two people you can't be mad at or really get on the bad side in Texas, Arch Manning, Steve Sarkisian. Number one, the golden child, and the guy that's calling the plays. You decided to do both. He went in the portal very quickly, maybe even before he even officially was in the portal, was in Washington, at the University of Washington with my man Jed Fish, who I know will work his hardest with Scotty Graham, because I know those two personally. I know Scotty Graham, I know Jed and Scotty, very, personally are very, very well. That they'll work hard to, quote unquote, I call it rehab you, like get you used to being held accountable, work through some of the growing pains. So then obviously you can, see the fruits of your labor and become the best player you possibly can. And I don't even think he probably got through first month's rent. And brother was back in the portal.
Alluring.
I think he was, I don't even know if classes had started then, because remember it was like off-season workouts before classes started, where he, depending on who you talk to, whether he got kicked off the team, I don't know what he could have done to lose his position on the team or the ability to earn your stripes that quickly. But he's a 3-star recruit in the portal, was a former high 4-star recruit coming out of high school. 6 foot, 185 pounds. He's got a ton of potential. His biggest obstacle is the guy that he looks at every day in the mirror. And he's going to Syracuse. It might be the best place for him. Too high profile. One of the biggest schools he could have went to, Texas. Then you go to obscure place, not obscure, but another big school in Washington, probably tier 2 in the Blue Bloods, maybe tier closer to tier 3.
Yeah.
But still, recent national championship team or playing in national championship.
Good enough program that's not like, what's he doing there?
Yeah, and then now you go to Syracuse where Fran Brown's a really good recruiter, and Fran Brown's going to hold him accountable, but then also put his arm around his shoulders to get him to, get right.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime, and I think sometimes at a place like Syracuse, and I think the portal works good for this type of situation. I'm going to come in, I'm going to give you for sure 1 chance, 2 at max, 3 is discretionary. If you mess up 3 times, you're gone. But it's not gonna be from the lack of trying, which I think is really, really good and really, really helpful for kids like this that, look, he hasn't probably been in the off season, in a winter conditioning program because he wasn't able to participate in Washington, and then he wasn't able to go through spring ball. So he's gonna be a little bit behind, not only physically but mentally, but more importantly, emotionally. He's gonna have to be, I don't know, like, I wouldn't say coddled, but you're gonna have to like Jackie Chan said, tread water softly with him at times, because the things that you think are known and should just be habit, he hasn't been in that habit environment in so long, and that's the hardest transition for you, where you go from essentially chilling, working out whenever you feel like it, going to class, being held accountable, and obviously you have to really, really perform, whether it's in school or on the field.
Without having met the young man, my read of the situation is, some guys need to kick in the butt, others need a hug. He's one that you probably have to hug first and then kick him in the butt once he knows, oh yeah, you got me. If you try to, kick him in the butt, discipline first.
Yeah. He'll buck back. Because right now, as much as you're feeling him out to see if it's worth the risk, he's also in an apprehensive stage too. So it's going to take it's really a lot more meetings. And, sometimes they, label players like this high maintenance, but it's if you're a coach and you really dive into players like this and that you can really get in that relationship and you'll get the most out of them. I think it's one of those things that you asked me about off the field versus on the field and what it's like to be a pro. He's going to have to learn what it's like to be a pro. And that's what the biggest thing, because it's not athletic ability.
No.
Yeah. And so hope it all works out for him. The other big name is and he probably has one of the best names for this position. And he probably, on the defensive side, he was a quote unquote internet sensation along the lines of Zion, but on the football field, is my man Justin Flo. He was he was the hardest hitting guy. And I mean, he looked like Ray Lewis in high school. He started out at Oregon. I mean, he was built 6'2", now he's 235, in his uniform, he had the neck roll, jacked up, went from Oregon, played a little bit, and then it was kind of obscure that he just jumped in the portal, then he jumped out of the portal, then he jumped in the portal. Arizona with Jed Fish, obviously Jed left, stayed another year, still a 3-star as far as ranking. Now he's at UNLV.
With head coach.
Oh, man. Come on, man.
Dan Mullen.
Yeah, Dan Mullen. I know. I was going to say, I know he's on TV, Dan Mullen.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about him because UNLV said we only got enough money for the first year contract.
We call that the Colorado.
So, I think, again, it's kind of like what we saw with Cook. You go to 2 high-profile places sometimes, and now UNLV is a high-profile. It's just more distractions. I think with him is, 1, he's got to stay healthy. Number 2, he needs to let the high school hype and aura go. I think that's been his biggest problem, from what I've been told. Presently in college, still thinking he's in high school, that what he did in high school should always equate to success, entitlement, or whatever in the college ranks. And also I think this is a good learning lesson. You talk about going into your rookie minicamp is no different than when you get off or when you get dropped off and then you're in your first, college camp, right? And this is what a lot of these players have to face when they come in January or whenever they, come down as early enrollees. Justin Flo was a highly decorated linebacker, and just say you're a highly decorated player.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of times you can think you're the only one in the whole wide world that looks like you, can run like you, then you get down here and there's like about 5
at your position.
At your position. And then there's 40 or 50 walking around. And so then you go from the guy to just a guy. And then now you spend 80% of your time adjusting to being just a guy and 20% trying to figure out how to
get back to being the guy.
When it should be 80, figuring out how to get to be the guy, and 20% of coming to terms with there's a lot of good players down here. And that was probably the biggest adjustment for him. And also sometimes when you're so physically gifted in the size and speed at an early age, fundamentals, technique, coaching, or being able to be coached kind of gets pushed to the wayside.
And that, I think, is more of an issue on the coaching development side than the athlete side. Because when you are that big and something comes that naturally to you at such a young level, or at least it feels like it comes naturally to you, that's a challenge. I mean, young men, young women that dominate a sport at a young age because of their size are the ones that honestly need the most attention, right? A lot of coaches will take those kids, set them and forget them. Oh yeah, they're our best player. They're going to dominate. We don't have to coach them.
Yeah.
That's doing them a disservice. Because if they really are the best at this age and they want to continue to be the best, those are the ones you have to stay on day after day after day about the nuances of the game. Maybe they're, 6 foot tall at age 12, whatever. If they're not going to keep growing to be 6'9", 6'10", that's when they especially need it. And if they keep growing, sure, they'll get a shot because of their height and they'll have other adaptations to make. But I'm sure you played with plenty of these kids. I know I played with plenty of these kids just right here in Lincoln that were the biggest kid. Yeah. Then they hit, middle school, they're dominating. Oh yeah, they're a surefire stud. And high school coaches are saying, yep, they're the chosen one. They're going to take us there. And then you find out when they're junior or senior, they're the same player they were as an 8th grade. Yeah, man, it's tough, man. That's the hardest thing. It's a kind of catch-22. Do you have to believe before you get results, or do results make you believe? And that's also, it's kind of like this, what you're talking about is it easier or is it better for you to start at a lower level and then kind of consistently work your way up as far as like athletic ability and all that, stature and all that? Or is it easier or better to be so far advanced and then be able to kind of, add to it in the nuances? I think it's all based on your personality. Situation, who's around you. Situation, your willingness to be coached, the coaches in willingness to be coached is not just on the player. Yeah. It's on whoever is the parental figure or the authority figure over said athlete at an early age. Because if you have their support, you'll be able to maximize that kid. The hardest thing is in coaching, like let's say youth or whatever, is not getting the support from the parents as long as you're coaching the kid, right? And because a lot of these parents just want their kid to do whatever the heck they want. Well, that doesn't work when you're playing against high level competition or people that are invested just as much as you. So that's probably one of the things he had to, work towards. And what you have to do is coach them for what if. What if we face a player just as good as you this year? What if this play happens? This is what you need. If kind of like this is what you need if you think and want to go and play at the next level early. These are the things you have to do. So you can come in there and it's not just physically be prepared, but you've coming from a winning program ideally, but then also your willingness to be coached and adapt a lot faster to being at Nebraska and time management and all that type of stuff, being held accountable, playing hard, practice hard, because you're not going to be able to get away with some of the things in high school, in college, and you won't be able to get away with some of the things you got away with in college and the pros. Right. That's the biggest adjustment. Whether it's rookie minicamp and, I never forget the last play of regular minicamp before we were able to come home. So I'd been up at this time in Buffalo for 3-4 weeks, rookie minicamp, working out for a couple weeks. It might have been 5 or 6 weeks, 6 weeks off season. Last play, jumping in there. I knew exactly what play was doing. They were running basic stuff. And Jamie Nails was there. That ball was snapped so quick. They was moving. I was still looking there, and the ball was all the way up the sideline. That was a long off season. And Ted Control said, well, you know what?
you're lucky because we're not many in training camp. That's how guys get cut. So they're a little bit more lax. But with these guys here, it's big news there for UNLV. That's a big get. I don't know what his NIL deal is, but it's a pretty big deal. So we also have some interesting, I guess, college football news as well. Clemson power forward Dabo Swinney, the man, the myth, look, for a dude that didn't like recruiting out of the portal, you just went over to the other part of the part of the campus and recruited out of the portal. Dabo, who had kind of teased this during the year when he was at a Clemson home basketball game, and they kept so I think it was ESPN knew something was up because they kept panning on Dabo. He for months, Dabo's been trying to recruit Ian Shefflin, who's a pretty good basketball player, power forward, kind of do it all, thicker guy, who tried to appeal for that extra 5th year. His appeal wouldn't have been heard, and the outcome would have been into the next season. So he's a big risk of not playing at all and waiting for an outcome that he probably was told wasn't in his favor. Now he's going to play tight end or defensive end.
Ian Shefflin missed his calling at Wisconsin. He would have been a perfect Big Ten basketball player. For Wisconsin.
Yes.
Or for Northwestern. Or
more Northwestern, because he looks just like a Northwestern basketball player.
Yeah, you could talk me into Purdue, you could talk me into Michigan State.
Yeah,
but I get big Northwestern, maybe Minnesota vibes in there. Jay, he was 8th grade football teammates with Phil Maffa.
Yeah,
the running back. Yeah, so I wonder if that had any sort of connection. That had to do with it,
and that's a big old. First of all, Maffa was a huge running back and got drafted this year, and then imagine him being, I'm sure he was a tight end or a receiver, 6'8". He's 240 pounds, so you ain't got to put no weight on him. I think he runs pretty good. He's a tough kid.
But that's 4 years away from the game.
Yeah, but that 6'8" catch radius,
if you're Cade Klubnik, how much do you trust this guy?
Oh, right away or in a couple weeks?
By the time you get to fall camp, how much do you trust this guy?
I'll trust. Jump ball? He ain't hit nobody. First of all, this dude ain't hit nobody. For what? I mean, if you're defensive end, let him rush. But he's a good enough athlete and physical enough and has the football background. I think he'll start to pay dividends. But my biggest thing is Dabo, who would not go in the portal, refused to go in the portal. Remember, just as like a FU to the people that were mad at him, he brought guys in the transfer portal and didn't even show up to the recruiter, like get him to sign. All right, I did it. They didn't want to come here. Then you go and you recruit a guy on campus and get him out the basketball squad. So that lets you know it was more a choice and not circumstance with Dabo.
Oh, absolutely, it was a choice.
Yeah,
he told you as much.
Yeah. So I mean that's big news because I think the Denver Broncos drafted a 6'8" basketball player from Baylor. So hey, look,
Mo Alley Cox with the Colts,
right? And numerous guys. We talk about Antonio Gates, Tony Gonzalez. There's tons of them. It's the deal. Look, my era of power forwards are now tight ends. 6'4", 6'3", 6'4". 6'6", 6'8". That was big back then. Now you got 7-foot dudes playing point guard and like Wemby and all that. So basketball, sometimes your basketball career ends a little bit easier, or a little bit further, quicker.
It's just wild to me that this guy can play 4 years of NCAA basketball and retain football eligibility.
Well, do you know who did it first? Wasn't it Ron Paulus?
Oh, Greg Paulus.
Greg Paulus.
Yeah.
Ron Paulus was my age, but Greg Paulus.
Yeah.
He played at Duke.
And then Syracuse and Niagara as our coach.
And then he went to Syracuse to play as a quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah. There it is.
It's still just bizarre to me. Eligibility is eligibility, but come on, man.
Here's what I wonder. Here's what I wonder then. Since I graduated early, now we're good done, I could have hooped.
Could have.
Dang. What do you think about 6'2", 242?
You running with Coach Nee's teams? You running?
Well, what would I be? A 1?
You're a 3. You're a 3.
A 3? At 6'2", 240?
The 240 tells me you're a 3.
Yeah, I ain't quick enough to stay in front of Strick.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're an under.
So
you're the Charles Barkley of Nebraska basketball. I mean, I guess
I'd
Chuck
have
was
to
a four,
body
but
Jerron Boone or somebody like that.
Yeah.
I'd body it. But they had Cookie Belcher and stuff. They
did.
quick.
That's what I'm saying, Jay.
Yeah,
You run him like that?
Yeah, no.
Well, you wouldn't have been 240 though. So what would you have cut down to? Would you have gotten to 210?
At that point, no way. Maybe 220. But the best part was
okay. So you're just an undersized 2.
But then
if you can keep up,
I'd be all right. But just think if I got to the lane, try to get it in there. Rafe LaFrentz was there. All them, Greg Poplawski or whatever from Michigan State. It wasn't happening.
It was not happening.
They were throwing my stuff out to the cheap seats. I could shoot a little bit, but I was going to try to go in there and probably get hung on the rim. One more quick thing. Michigan State's athletic director, tumultuous tenure, not all his doing. Mel Tucker was not on his doing, is out. And Tom Izzo is interim. Right move. Yeah, I mean,
the John Cook style move.
Yeah, right move. Tom Izzo ain't going nowhere. I think this run is last year in the NCAA tournament. I think it energized him.
Fair,
but it could be something in the future. It could be like Greg Popovich. He goes up to like a vice chancellor or something. I don't know what he would go to, but somewhere in a leadership position. And when he's done playing or done coaching,
yeah. I never thought of Tom Izzo as the administrative type.
Hey, I'm Tom Izzo. How you doing?
I picture him doing more of the Saban Krzyzewski, where he's around, but it's less official than actual.
I think, I like that too.
Not to say he can't, but just how I picture.
Very well compensated. Yes. Hey, tricky thing though. You know who one of his best friends is?
Who that?
Barry Sanders.
How about that?
I didn't even know that. Barry Sanders goes to almost all their home games. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, Barry.
Yeah. Barry Sanders, the only dude that made me lose sleep the night before a preseason game. And I should have known. I'm still mad at my agent for that, man. Lamont Smith and Peter Schaefer. I was
getting Christmas cards.
I wasn't scared, but I was like, dang, Barry was just embarrassing people.
Yeah.
And I knew he was way faster than me. You know, he was faster than everybody in the league. And they were, and they were like, "What are you doing?" I was like, I got to hit him early because if I miss a tackle, I want to be the first one to miss a tackle, so somebody else's fault. He was over there in a hat. Had no, hey, listen,
no intention
of getting down there in their preseason.
And they rope-a-doped you.
They rope-a-doped me, and he called me right after the game. How'd it go? You know how it went.
Went great. Didn't have to touch Barry.
Look out there. I'm about to call up the HR, tell them to hold your payment out of my check, chump. Anyways, we'll take a quick break, come back, put a bow on this week. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, old school to new school way. We'll be right back.
Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
You grew up on cereal for breakfast and you graduated into drinking coffee at some point as an adult. Now there's a place in Lincoln where you can stay caffeinated but eat like you used to. Control Coffee and Cereal Bar brings Saturday morning vibes to every day with locally roasted specialty coffees, Lotus energy drinks, and tons of breakfast cereals with toppings. And did we mention they have video games to play while you're there too? Control Coffee and Cereal Bar open 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the weekends at 15th and Pine Lake.
Midwest Bank is now hiring in Lincoln. They have multiple banking positions open and are looking for dynamic individuals passionate about helping others and building relationships. With a family-friendly culture, competitive benefits, and unique perks, Midwest Bank is a great place to start a new career. Apply today at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer, member FDIC.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships. One with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. Quick segment here. Put a bow on this week once again. A lot of stuff going on. Got Game 7. Is it tonight?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
NBA and NHL both have Game 7 on Saturday.
I mean, that's the best.
Mm-hmm.
All the
problem for Colorado fans is they start half an hour apart.
Well, they got TVs up there, and they usually support each other.
They do.
So, I think it's always a good sports weekend, even though obviously spring ball's over. Now the fun part of training, at least in my opinion, starts now for every team across the nation. You get a couple portal gets. Obviously, we got my man Conan the Barbarian coming in as a kicker for kicker competition. But for the most part, this is it depending on what they do with the roster, but for the most part, this is who you're going to roll with. You're going to win the majority, 95% of your games with these guys right here. Now, if you're able to get somebody that's special in a unique situation, that's great. But ultimately, the guys that you got and have been here most of the offseason, I think you're going to win with. And so this is where, you start to systematically and factually start to get your I mean, you should already have a foundation, but this is where you really start to tighten it up day in and day out.
You're a golf guy, and I just came across this. I have to show you this video. You have to react live on air. This is at Riviera Country Club in Pacific Palisades. Is it playing?
Yeah. Oh, hell no. Hey, oh, hell no. Who is that? Is that wasn't that Harrison Ford that did that one time?
Might have been.
You know what that looks like? Do you know what that reminds me of, Austin?
Just for those who don't know, someone landed a 2-seater plane on the golf course at Riviera Country Club.
Hey, the dude was about to tee off on number 1.
Here goes a plane.
Slice right into that bad boy. Hey, at least everybody's safe. But you know what that landing reminded me of, Austin? Brought back a memory. One time I went skiing. I've been skiing a few times. And the last time, my daughters picked it up like this. They could ski down backwards. They daredevils. I'm trying to still I'm going down the slow lane. We went up top and I got cut off.
Oh.
And sent me down to Black Diamond or something.
Oh no.
A lady cut me off. So the worst part for me, I would tell you this real quick, was if you fall down, getting out of the snow, getting up and getting your skis back on, because first of all, them boots hurt my dogs, because you locked in there,
right.
But man, it's cold. I'm going down this Black Diamond, man. And I'm I'm cussing, swearing, I'm scared. And, I was a little bit bigger.
Cold.
I was 200 and about 60, 65. I'm picking a momentum. Okay. Because you way up there and, you kind of zigzag a little bit to kind of slow you down.
Mm-hmm.
But once you hit that turn and you come down that corner,
whoosh,
man, about 10 miles an hour. You know what I'm saying? And then I ain't going over no jump, so I avoided that a little bit. And then I tried to do that was it pepperoni pizza thing?
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to slow you down. And when you rent skis, they got them little skis, man. They for small people.
That's not you.
Hey, Austin, they just got to the point. I just came to terms with I'm going right into the chalet. And I don't care who's you know what I'm saying?
Respect.
And I finally kind of slid and bit it. That's how that airplane was. I was going right towards the people and
Yep.
went over there. Yeah. Man, those people, and I was embarrassed. I just got my stuff and left.
Have you been skiing since? I think
Hell no. Hell no.
I just had to ask.
Hell no. And if I fell down now, I ain't getting up, man. You go back to bring the helicopter for me.
Just ride the ski lift up and down.
Yeah. That's what I like to. That's fine.
Those are views, man.
Hey, man. Never again. I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. Now there's this little kid, and I'm like, look, dude, you better get out of the way. Missed him or her, bit it. Snow everywhere. Snow goggles came off. Poles everywhere. And you know what? Just like how you laughing right now.
I'm more laughing at your story than I'm laughing at you because been there.
So I'm down there and stuff, right? I'm down, and
mm-hmm.
So my oldest rolls over, looks at me and starts laughing. She's laughing so hard at me, she's crying. She looked at the thing.
Not are you good inside?
Yeah. I'm like, you ain't gonna help me up. She's like, no, I want to laugh some more. Oh,
dang.
Yeah. They still reminded me of it too. That and the blue cheese during Thanksgiving. Anyways, good week. Appreciate you guys listening. Appreciate the help with the Traeger. I'll keep you guys updated Monday or Tuesday. Progress. I guess I got a couple days to think about how to fix it because I'm gonna have to get on Amazon.
There it is.
So, anyways, happy grilling. Look like the sun's finally coming out. Jay Foreman from my main man, Austin Orman, Old School. We'll holler at you next week.